Since it's the end of 2024, today is New Year's Eve, I want to post this video and talk about a few things from the past year of Yu-Gi-Oh! And at the end of the video, I'm going to have more going into things. So let's get right into it and let's talk about this year as a whole. First off, we have Maze of Millennia. This set is an interesting set because it introduced the Fighting Flame Swordsman support, and it also gave us cards like Bonfire, Transaction Rollback, #1 Infection Buzz King, Photon Delta Wing, and even a lot of people's curiosity card that brought an FTK to a YCS, being the new Earthbound release, just to be able to FTK, OTK your opponent. So overall, what do I think about Maze of Millennia? The imports were cool. The TCG Flame Swordsman archetype was actually pretty interesting, as I see a lot of Infernal Knight players have gone down that route because it gives 2 extra interruptions and a few extra extenders. On top of the fact, with a lot of the other things in the set is very nice. We had a lot of cool reprints, like the Supreme King stuff to go with Age of Overlord, the Altergeist cards to go with the Duelist Nexus reprints, along with reprints to Ancient Chant that needed, the new Magispector reprints for Phantom Nightmare, all the Rescue Ace reprints that you need from this set and another of a previous from 2022 that were all needed, and one of the first reprints of Triple Tactics Thrust that is not in Ultimate Rare. And honestly, what do I think about Maze of Millennia? Maze of Millennia is definitely in the middle of everything in the whole entire pack, and that's good and also not good. It had a lot of cool generic cards and a lot of teasers of upcoming sets, because we also got the Arcana Force stuff that's going to be in Supreme Darkness, while this set had Arcana Force XP the Fiend, which is an essential card for it. And it also had a lot of unique cards that people still utilize today in stuff like Earthbound Runic, or even Photon Delta Wing for your new Galaxy support, the Tachyon support that we're going to be getting in Maze of the Masters. After that, let's go to Phantom Nightmare. This set was a interesting set because it changed the meta as we pretty much know it pre the ban list, with actual Yubel winning worlds from the set. You also had Snake Eyes Poplar, along with many other things like Memento Gatic, the Voiceless Voice, and so much more in the set. It was jam-packed with a lot of cool cards. Even a Romage got support in the set, and Magispectors too. So there's a lot of unique cards in this set to make it where it is a meta-defining set, because all those decks, the Yubel, your Snake Eye, got better. Voiceless Voice was meta for quite some time. The new Romage stuff, they're played in Plant Link, but I wouldn't really call it meta-defining. I would more put it underneath meta-defining, because Voiceless Voice did fall off. Plant Link really hasn't been seeing play ever since the Molcharmies came out and the Dominuses. So there's that. We even got new Raid Raptor support in this, and people were having fun with that, which was nice to see. And honestly, overall, definitely a high tier up for this set alone. After that, let's get into one that I added on, being the Retro Pack reprint. Now, this was never printed in North America. It was only in European, because they were mostly debuts over there. But it was nice to get a special print over here in the TCG for North America. And it was nice opening it up for nostalgia stake. I still open them up here and there if I see them, if I just pick them up. So I'm just going to have to say it's not impactful at all, but it did have a lot of cool reprints like Raigeki in the old school style, along with Monster Reborn as well, all 5 pieces of Exodia. Even stuff like Gate Guardian is in here, and that matched well with the previous Maze set with the Gate Guardian support. Sangan, old school style, even other things like Thunder Dragon. So if you didn't have a lot of these past format cards, this was actually a great way to get some of those older cards that you really needed. Even Cyber Harpuladian Secret Rare with the old style really looks beautiful, even till today, even if it's a reprint. After that, let's get into Legacy of Destruction. This set was definitely interesting because it had the Silent Sword, or the Gandora Shining Sark deck with the Melodious support, along with Snake Eyes Dibelstar and Dibel's the original Scene Keeper with Ragnarika, new Centurion cards, and Tempai Dragon. This boosted up a lot of decks like your Melodious to a rogue status, your Chimera deck from Duel's Nexus up into a better state, along with Plant Link getting more utility starters and all of that. Tempai Dragon being one of the best decks from the set and being very budget was really scary, especially at this time. Memento got their Memento Twin Dragon along with Memento Fusion, so that is great that it actually bumped them up into a new category of rogue, and now they're sitting at a tier 2 after all the support that they actually received. In my opinion, Legacy of Destruction, looking back at it, it's another high tier, maybe high B, low A, because of how many impactful cards there are. Even Lightsworns got support in this set, and those cards were really good. Even Varudris, the Final Bringer of End Times, is in the set, and even things on the lines, there's so much in this set. We even have things like Blink Out and Metatronius. Those two cards people play. Even Way Where There's a Will is another interesting card that people use. One of the best TCG exclusives from this year was Haggard Lizardos that's being ran in Malice right now. Even the import of Code of Soul. So realistically, Legacy of Destruction was a good set in hindsight. Very cheap, budget friendly, and all that. But then we get into Infinite Forbidden. Infinite Forbidden is the most meta-defying set of the year. Because the reason it has Fiendsmith, it has Molcharmy, Perulia, it has the Light Force stuff, which is going to be better post Supreme Darkness. You even have Memento Sleepy. That card is ridiculous in it. And even Light End and Dark End, the Light and Darkness Dragon retrained stuff is going to be very useful post whenever we get the Dragon Maid stuff, probably Battles 2025. Gimmick Puppet got an FTK. The Millennium cards were used in Snake Eye as extra bodies and as extra extenders just to get it to Appaloosa. But we also have things like Fiendsmith's Lacrima getting banned instantly. Memento's Creation King, very crazy of a set. Silhouette Rabbit's another great card that came out in this set. Even Vesper Grisu, a random quick play spell that not many people play. I really like it because it tells a story, and also it's a useful card if it ever comes up. And it also had things like Aerial Eater, a retrain of an old Normal Monster, and Necroquip Princess, another powerhouse card that Fiendsmith used. We have Moon of the Closed Heavens, along with spell card Monster Reborn and Soul Exchange, two useful cards in certain areas. And Mimighoul too, an actual competitive rogue strategy that the TCG made from both of the waves, and I'm very proud of it that the deck is rogue, and I cannot wait to see what the OCG gives them. Outside of that, what else do I have to say about this set? This set was definitely a very powerful set, and it did what it needed to do. Even the new Drytron support made Drytron go back to rogue, and honestly, I'm very happy that Infinite Forbidden happened, even though that the rarities were insane, being Fiendsmith Engraver, 3 of Secret Rare, Molcharmy Perulia, 3 of Secret Rare. You also had things like Fiendsmith's Track as a Secret Rare as well. So you were definitely, if you got in on that early, kudos to you. And then for the last core set of the year, we're going to be taking a look at Rage of the Abyss. This set had new Shark cards. We had the Red Eyes support and Primite as well, which is now catching on. We also have Mermail support and Memento Akihiran with Fluandre's Fulos, which is an insane card. You also have the Azamina stuff that meshed really well with a lot of decks, even with Snake Eye. New Six Samurai and Battle Wasp support, even a good generic Link 2 for zombies being Flying Mary. And we also had the second wave of Fiendsmith with Lacrima the Crimson Deer and Fiendsmith's Agamendi, which honestly, really good cards. Goblin Biker Grand Breakout with literally just Memento support in disguise. And one of my favorite spell cards, Final Bringer of the End Times, because I use that in Chimera, targeting Mirror Sword Knight and another card on the field my opponent controls, and tributing the Sword Knight to get a free advantage. Dominus Impulse was in this set, and in Raid and in Infinite Forbidden we got Dominus Purge. So both cards really good. TCG exclusive wise, Memento Wave 2 was okay. It was good. It was good enough. But realistically, I definitely think that they could have been a little better, but that's fine. Fire King Ucanix is in here, which is really good, because that made Fire King actually playable, and they're still playable because they've been swapping from Snake Eye to the Kashtira package, or even the Fiendsmith package, because Fiendsmith is one of the best engines in the game right now. So I definitely think that this set alone, all three core sets were very great this year, just looking at it alone, and how many implications that the sets had throughout the whole entire year, because realistically this year was banger after banger for the core sets, and I'm really happy for that. 2-player starter deck, not really impactful at all. The only important reprint in here was things like maybe Scapegoat and Coral Dragon maybe, and Divine Arsenal, a Zeus Sky Thunder. But outside of that, Eldritch Golden Lord maybe, but realistically I don't think that this is really it. Eldritch the Golden Lord was in Rarity Collection 1, and honestly, don't really need to say much more about this set. It was a good try for Konami, but I wish it was the tactical try decks that the OCG got. Let's go with Battle of Legends Chapter 1. Now, this was a set and a half, because it had Witch Battle Legends, Light Revenge, Relentless Revenge, Heroes Revenge, and Armageddon all in one. And it had cards like Minerva, Titan Knight, even some kaijus were in here. Gimmick Puppet Nightmare, after it was being like $20, $30 per copy, tanked that value. Denko Sekka was a very good common. But honestly, Battle of Legends Chapter 1, it's definitely a lower tier car or set because of what's all in it. But it did give us a lot of needed reprints that actually needed to happen, especially things for past formats, which is nice, and even for current format too. And it's nice to see all of that. And I think we're going to go straight into Battle Legends Terminal Revenge real quick, because this set saw the most meta change that there was, because people were running the Ice Barrier stuff, and that was crazy to see that Ice Barrier became a small engine just to summon Totally Awesome. But yet again, Ice Barrier was seeing play on its own because the new cards were that good. Genex saw a tiny bit of play, but while Infernoid saw a little more than Genex, Ritual Beast just stole everything of the star of the show because of how great the new support was. The toy cards were alright. They definitely served their purpose for White Forest, and I cannot wait to see what else White Forest could possibly get if they get anything else in the future, but we'll have to see on that. But then after that, we really kind of just dropped down a little through the set, and we hit things like Pillars of Future, Psionos, and Azalea Temperance. Both cards are actually useful in kind of some way in Sky Strikers, but Temperance is definitely the better of the two. We got Blaze, Supreme Ruler of all Dragons imported, and I hope that they fix that name to make it a Dragon Ruler. Then we got Archfiend's Advent, which is a good card for your Shining Sark deck, and Phantom of Yubel, which recently went down to 1. But that definitely helped out Yubel become more resilient to monster effects and give you an extra body on the field. And some of the reprints in here too were actually good timing, like End of Anubis, because Chimera could use it, Guard Dog for Mimighoul. You also had some Genex reprints, a few Infernoid reprints, which was nice, a few Ritual Beast reprints, Orcust Harp Horror's first reprint after 5 years, Diviner the Herald, a very good reprint, then later got announced as an ulti, but that's completely fine. A few Ice Barrier reprints that were needed. You also had legit Sprite Blue, Jet, Pixies, and Red, and then later Parrot got reprinted. Kurikara was in here, which was actually a nice reprint for the time. Blazing Cartesia as well. The Ice Jade, Ran, and Gimmer were both in here, which were nice. Ib, the World Chalice Justiciar, was a good reprint, along with Barox. Barox getting a reprint was definitely needed because that thing keeps getting bought out like Skelgon. But they literally reprinted a lot of good things, like the whole Sprite deck in here outside of Carrot. And then you had things like a Maroma Seraphy Jasmine that I sold those before the reprint came out. Then I picked up the reprint for cheap, which was nice. Snatch Shield's reprint was also very good. Then they just reprinted the whole entire Albaz structure deck in it, which was crazy to think. Then we got Altart Ray and Rose in only QCR, and Dragon Master Magia in only QCR. And because of that one card alone, Dragon Master Magia, the cover card, I'm going to dock a few points from it. Because I feel like that they're going to be reprinting it soon. And I feel like that's going to be in Stampede maybe. So, kind of harsh making a card that everyone wanted that plays Blue Eyes in the QCR. So there's that. Let's get into the Rarity Collections now. Rarity Collection 2. You tried what one did, but you failed. It was good for some reprints, bad for others. And honestly, this has to be one of the worst Rarity Collections that there was, looking back at it. And the price didn't help justify that at all either. Because you had things that really didn't need reprints, but they got reprints, like Masquerade the Blazing Dragon got a Megaton reprint, and then they put it in here. Same for Rinbrum, that was reprinted earlier, then it got reprinted here. Let's see, there's just a lot of things here and there that shouldn't have been in here, but that's fine, because it had things like the 4 planets from the Visas lore that needed reprint. Well, 2 of them needed it. You had Pearly Happy Memory, Pearly, and Pretty Memory, all 3 good cards. Ultimate Slayer was a good reprint, but I'm still going to put it low B, high C, because honestly, they could have done better and to match that price tag. But then we go on to Bonanza. Bonanza. How do I even describe Bonanza? Like, it is a set that everyone wanted to happen, and it did. Because they took what Rarity Collection was and made it better. Because we had so many good cards get reprinted, and we got a few alt-arts imported, which people loved. Being stuff like your Super Dreadnought Railcannon Juggernaut Lieb, or even stuff like the 1-for-1 alt-art, which I really love. That is one of the best alt-arts I've seen in quite some time. Even the Hero Polymerization, a lot of people were excited about. And then they locked 3 of the QCRs, or 3 of the alt-arts behind QCR, but Konami's Konami. They do what they do. And those locks were the original art for Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, and Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. Then they also locked House Dragon Maid, Juggernaut Lieb, Shizuku as well, and I think there was one more, but I don't think so. But overall, the set definitely did what it was supposed to do, and I'm honestly happy that this is a set that we're getting a second of. I cannot wait to see what Bonanza or Stampede has, and honestly, I'm going to put it up in high A, because it's definitely a set that I wish Konami would return more to in the future, like do every 2 to 3 years. So there's a mass reprint to expect at the end of every single series of Yu-Gi-Oh! So that would be Duelist Nexus all the way to Alliance Insight for a series, and then we'll see what happens then. Light of Destruction's Wave. Lightsworn reprints. Cool. And that literally happened here. And here. That's all I have to say. That's literally all. Let's go to the OTS packs. OTS 24. The ultis were Chaos Angel, Rock of the Vanquisher, and Harpy's Feather Duster. A lot of good super rares as well. This was a very good OTS pack, in my opinion. From things like King Tiger Wangu to Labyrinth, Chandragler, along with Cornfield Coldle and Shavara and Caesar. All those are really great to have. And them reprinting things like Electric Virus, Pupper Plant, and Marionette Might were definitely needed after the one event that Jesse brought Marionette Might to. So I'm really happy that those got reprinted, because I think those are now on people's radars again, and I'm glad that they are. OTS 25. Exodia the Forbidden One, Snake Eye Ash, and Diviner the Herald. Only noteworthy super rare upgrades in here are things like Cyframe Delta, Fire King Avatar Avada after so long, even Fire King Island 2. And it's not the best OTS pack, but it's definitely not the worst. We've had worse before, and honestly, that's kind of fine. So I'm gonna put this at the C tier. It's gonna be a high C instead. So there's that. And now we're gonna be taking a look at OTS 26, the current OTS pack that's out. Ultis are Dibellstar, the Black Witch, Load the Prayer, the Voiceless Voice, Phantom of Yubel. 3 great ultis, even though Dibellstar didn't matter because she was in Bonanza. A few of the reprints were very good for the super rare slots, like your Lantern Shark and your Buzzsaw Shark. Well, Buzzsaw was more important than Lantern. Samurai Destroyer needed it after so long of not having a reprint. Moon of Closed Heaven should have been a common at the first place. Chicken Game reprint I appreciate. Oceanata reprint would have mattered if it wasn't in Bonanza. Sanjin Summoning reprint, pretty good, even though it was at 1. And even commons, Fire Sorcerer, Konami caught on to that with Mimighoul, which was kind of funny. Right hand, left hand Shark, even though you only use one of them. 6 Samurai Shiin for the 6 Sam support that we just got, and just a few other cards here and there, like all the viruses, not Crush card though, or Grinning. So overall, I think this is definitely high B for the year. And let's get into the most controversial set of the year, the 2024 Megatins, the Dueling Mirrors. 50 QCRs, 100 Prismatics, and 150 Ultra Rares. And they didn't adjust the ratios for that exact reason, which is kind of annoying because this set was not the best, but it still has a few things that it's holding on to, like your QCRs and your alt arts in here. I guess you also have things like Kashtira Riseheart and Kirlin's Kashtiras in here. Kashtira Theosis, Thrust, even though Thrust was placed in Stampede. Or Bonanza, I mean. Big Welcome Labyrinth. It's just mostly Prismatic Seekers that are holding the setup that will probably get reprinted coming here next year. So that's one thing we have to wait on, see on about. And in my opinion, what do I think of where the Megatins would go? Definitely a C tier. Even though it has a lot of good reprints, it's hard to pull what you want. And realistically, I definitely think Konami could have done a better job at this, because I did a video on the math, and the math did not work out that well. And finally, we're on Crossover Breaker. This set is a literal meta-defining set, because we have people playing both Malice and Fiendsmith, and also Ryzeal. So you have Fiendsmith Ryzeal being one of the best decks in the format. Then you have Skystriker Malice being another best deck. You also have people playing Fiendsmith Malice, or pure Ryzeal, or even Kashtira Malice. So literally, Malice and Ryzeal are both of the best decks from the set. It is a meta-defining set that we've seen take over the whole entire competitive space. And honestly, it's nice seeing something new from what we were dealing with of Snake Eye and Yubel for a full year. So I'm definitely happy that the meta shift. And right now, as I look at YGO Pro deck, the top 3 decks are literally Ryzeal, Malice, and Fiendsmith Piles, being either Kashtira Fiendsmith or Magical Musket Fiendsmith. And then after that, you go to Yubel, and then Tenpai. But realistically, these 2 sets right here, Infinite Forbidden and Crossover Breaker, are the best sets of 2024, and I cannot say it any other way. But anyways, I want to know you guys' thoughts on the best sets in all of 2024 and the worst sets of 2024. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. Sorry if this went on for a little longer, but now that we're at the end of the video, I want to talk about stuff real quick. 2025, I want to have a lot of new things going on. I want to start interviewing people, other content creators, and other things. And honestly, I'm very happy of where the channel has gone, because a lot of things happened over the years. And as we can see, I don't care sharing my dashboard right here. Almost 1650 for the subs, and I'm completely fine with that. My goal at the end of the year was hitting 1500. And if we go to the analytics, I don't care if I'm showing this. We can go to the live count. We could see back all the way, I would say, let's do 365. Back in 2024, hit 1500. My next goal was literally 1600, and let's go all the way back. Started at 1300, and that's 350, almost 350 more people, and I'm happy about that. I'm happy for everyone who's been subscribing and everyone who's been here along the way, because when I saw that we hit the threshold of 1500 back in August and then all the way up in October at the 1600, I knew that it's going to be a slower grind. But as you can see, the lifetime, I had my couple spikes back in 2021 with leaks, back in 2023 because of Forbidden Memory video, or that was previously. But overall, I definitely think that I'm very content of where my channel's going and what I want to do with it. As currently the content that I do, being covering news, is wonderful because I get insights on what cards can do and what cards will do. And overall, I'm definitely happy with the channel, and I try and do as much content as I can personally, but work has been very stressful because the holiday season, and I wanted to go back to doing more shorts because I love doing shorts. They were doing quite well, and I stopped doing them because work happened. But other than that, I also got news this morning that at 7 o'clock my grandfather passed away. Now, I don't really talk about my life outside of YouTube on YouTube that much, but he passed away, and we're probably going to have a funeral for him soon. So if videos don't pop up right away, you probably now know why. But honestly, it's absolutely fine, but I don't want to drag anyone's mood down today. But I think that's all I had to say. I've been Bolt Spider. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video.